All right, we have a lot going on. I mean, there's a lot floating out there. I mean, not the least of which is this television that is finally just, look at that thing in the background. That looks awful. If you're not watching on Talk TV, well, you should be. Super Talk TV, up and available. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. That is available for your visual enjoyment as well as your listening pleasure. We're normally here for your listening pleasure on 99.7 FM, and you can also find us on a variety of apps. My name is Matt Murphy, here till 7 o'clock. There's Jackson behind the glass, and behind Jackson is young Ken Weaver in News Closet B. Gentlemen, I am highly anticipatory of our fair food getting here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and
so that means it's going to get here any minute.
Well, I hope so. I do hope so. All I know is that we've got a fried bologna sandwich and a deep fried cheeseburger and a funnel cake and possibly even a turkey leg on the way. And I don't know where we are in the progress. I just checked in with Mr. Bill.
Yes, sir.
And also, I might need, considering the amount that we're looking at, one fried bologna sandwich, one deep fried cheeseburger, one funnel cake, and one turkey leg. I've only got 100 on me, and I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to cover it. I mean, it is fair food. These are fair food prices. You want to know?
Well, I'd like to help, but my wallet is way in my back pocket.
That's my. I love those.
I love that commercial.
I left mine in the other studio, Matt.
Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. Well, I'll try to cover it as best I can, man. My favorite in that line with Steve Martin and Martin Short, it's one where they're at the ball game, and he says, "And here's one for you to pay for both of us."
Yeah.
He like turns it around on him. Like Martin's not paying for anything. That's awesome. But I'm very excited. If you missed the first hour of the show, we hit Mr. Bill up for, well, Mr. Bill offered.
Yeah, I don't have any cash on me.
No, I got it. I got us covered. No, I got it handled.
I'll get you back tomorrow.
Mine was more of a joke as to how much fair food costs. That's all I was saying. I got $100 and I ordered 4 things, and I'm not worried. I'm a little worried about $100 covering it. Would you care to know how much a
deep fried cheeseburger costs?
I think they were $11. But
right. I thought you were going to say $50.
I know that a pork chop on a stick was $15.
$15?
Mm-hmm. Turkey leg was $20. $20. Oh, Mr. Bill, we got an update. Mr. Bill's here with an update. Before we get it in, Kaboops, it's 9 minutes after the hour. Hello, Mr. Bill.
Matt, it's a madhouse out here. There must be 112,000 people plus myself, and I've got a list of prices for you if you want to hear what things cost these days.
What do you got there, Mr. Bill?
Well, surprisingly, the fried bologna sandwiches were only $5 each, so I got the last 2 they had made.
$5.
She was making some more, but I was in a hurry. I got the funnel cake. That was $8.
Uh-huh.
And I got the turkey leg. That was $18.
Ooh.
I guess all that gristle, they charge extra for that.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then the deep fried cheeseburger was the hardest thing to find. And in fact, that's why I'm just now leaving the fairgrounds, because it was a real task to ask all these vendors. There must be a couple of hundred vendors out here, and nobody knew where the deep fried cheeseburger was.
I should have told you. It's kind of toward Fiddler's Grove.
Yep.
I should have told you.
Let me tell you where I found it. It was in the last place I looked. You know why?
Well, because you stopped looking. Yeah.
Stop looking. I didn't have to look anymore. That's where I found it.
Well,
anyway, I think the tab's somewhere up to between $70 and $80.
Well, I mean, I can cover that, Mr. Bill. We're good to go. I'm just worried about you getting here. I don't want you to rush. I'm concerned about you getting here. Maybe we. I don't know. You tell me. I mean, because.
Well, I'm on my way.
Okay. We will. I will
45.
make sure. Weaver will not be here. I can tell you that. But Jackson Jackson and I will be here, and we will make sure that A, you are compensated for your effort, and B, that Ken Weaver gets his deep fried cheeseburger. It just might be a day-old deep fried cheeseburger from the fridge.
That's all right.
In the microwave. And by the way, I think I know where you're located. Somebody said it was on the butt end of Music Row.
Yeah, it's on. We're on the dead end of Music Row. We're on the butt end of Music Row. We're behind the hedges on me. I will. I'll tell you what. You had my cell number. Do you still have it?
I don't know. You can text it to me because
Okay.
you got my contact.
All right,
info.
I'll do that, and then you can hit me up when you get. I'll hit you up with the address and all of those things. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'll put him on hold, and we can. You can talk to him in a minute, or actually, tell him that I will text him all of that stuff, and we'll figure all of that
Sure
out.
do
because
appreciate you, Mr. Bill.
Mr. Bill, you're the man. I didn't realize. You know what? I feel bad. I didn't mean to put him through all that work.
That's a lot of work.
I mean, wow. He went to the general store for the fried bologna,
Yeah.
and then went way over there across the midway for the turkey legs.
Right.
And then he came way back over. Well, funnel cake's everywhere. So
Right.
he probably picked him up a funnel cake wherever he could get it. But I forgot there was only one deep fried cheeseburger stand.
Mm.
And I could have told him exactly where it was, but I forgot to do it. And so he's probably looking everywhere for it. And that's tough. I know that's tough because he was wanting that Dole pineapple whip. And there's only one stand that does that.
Matt, you know what that makes you?
What does that make me?
A nincompoop.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Another reason to vote for me. For nincompoops in the news. It is time, friends, a little bit late, but never not time for a good nincompoop or two. I've got two to choose from, man, and I'm very excited because I think I got winners.
I got
a winner.
Well, there's three voices saying that they're all winners, but there can only be one, just like the Highlander. And Jackson's raising his hand. Oh, you want to go first?
Absolutely.
Well, they'll forget yours by the time we get to me, brother. I'm telling you that.
I
Let's
think
go.
both of y'all have this on your list because I know me and Matt have we use similar sources. Jester headed to court on felony assault charges. Upset at the noise a landscaper's lawnmower was making, a Florida man retrieved a dagger from his car and threatened the worker with the weapon, according to cops who say the accused was wearing a full jester costume during the incident and arrest. According to a court affidavit, landscaper Brian Hansen was mowing two separate lawns on a St. Petersburg street yesterday afternoon when he was confronted by Anthony Marzola, 51 years old, who lives in a nearby home. Marzola, investigators say, became upset with the sound of the mower and retrieved a 12-inch dagger-style blade from a vehicle and began walking towards the victim. Marzola was allegedly pointing the dagger at Hansen and yelling that he cannot be mowing. Marzola advanced until the victim positioned his stand on mower to be between him and the defendant. The 2:45 p.m. incident, cops noted, was witnessed by a neighbor. The defendant was wearing a full court jester costume during the incident and arrest. Reported jester arrestor Jonathan Goodman, a St. Petersburg Police Department officer. While the report does not indicate why Marzola was at home wearing a jester outfit in the middle of the day, it seems likely that the getup was related to the operation of his psychedelic jester smoke shop, which recently moved from Seminole, Florida to St. Petersburg.
He was smoking the Maridahoochee.
Yeah, he was getting in on the marijuana, the wacky tobacco. We don't want to go down that list again. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Was that one of yours?
I saw that one. I saw that one. Ken says he's winning, so he gets to go last. But I chose this one.
All right.
A Wisconsin man yesterday pleaded guilty to contaminating a female coworker's Coca-Cola.
Ooh.
Anybody want to guess? He was dropping something into the Coca-Cola. Anyone
Yeah,
want to guess?
I think we kind of
Methamphetamines.
Gorilla Superglue.
Wow.
Drops of Gorilla Superglue, a crime that was caught on video after the victim hid a surveillance camera under her desk.
Wow.
During a court hearing, Joseph Ralph Ross, I got a great mugshot of this dude, and boy, is he a winner. Joseph Ralph Ross, 35, copped to a felony charge of placing foreign objects in edibles. The Milwaukee resident, whose admission came after plea negotiations with prosecutors, they got him on camera doing it, by the way, is scheduled to be sentenced on October 9th. Ross and the 36-year-old victim shared an office in the Wisconsin Exhibition Center, a state-owned exhibit hall in West Allis, Milwaukee suburb. As detailed in the criminal complaint, the woman told police that she, quote, suspected the beverages on her desk had been contaminated by a chemical substance earlier this year. Now, Ken, I would have guessed a lot of substances before superglue.
Well, I kind of had an idea that it wasn't necessarily a substance.
Well, it could have been a lot of things. And it
Yes.
could have been, I mean, I guess I don't know how dangerous it gets, but it could have been more dangerous than superglue, I suppose.
Well, that's pretty dangerous.
That's pretty dangerous,
I would not have guessed that.
Well, she suspected that the beverages on her desk had been compromised. The victim reportedly became ill after consuming the adulterated beverage, not to be confused with an adult beverage, the adulterated beverage, which she described as having a strong chemical smell and taste.
But she drank it anyway.
She drank it anyway. Due to past events, investigators noted on March 20th, the woman hid a camera below her computer monitor to see if anyone was putting anything inside of her beverage. Within 30 minutes, the camera recorded Ross wearing latex gloves, squeezing Gorilla Glue into the victim's can of Coca-Cola.
That dude's in trouble.
When confronted by cops, Ross, who was unaware of the hidden camera, claimed, well, he placed a supplement in the victim's Coke.
Matt, would you call this a sticky situation?
I do think it's rather sticky. A police search of the trash container. I almost said something I shouldn't.
Yeah.
A police search of
Good call.
the trash container near Ross's office yielded the protective gloves, which were wadded up in a ball with the glue bottle and a cap inside of the gloves. Well, it's good to be on the safe side
Yeah.
when you're putting.
You want to make sure you put the cap back on it.
As a part of his felony charge, Ross may, quote, never own or possess a firearm. Well, I'm more worried about glue.
Yes.
And he is unable to vote until his civil rights have been restored. The super glue, I don't even know what you would call him. Bandit? I mean, he's a nincompoop. That's all I know.
Yes. Dangerous one.
Fairly dangerous. But, yeah, there he is, just squirting some super glue into your Coca-Cola.
Goodness.
I mean, yeah, and you think it's sweet before that. I wonder what that does to the taste.
Well, she said it tasted chemical, but kept on drinking it.
Kept on drinking that
Something's
Coca-Cola.
wrong with this.
I got to have my caffeine, y'all. Got to have my caffeine. Mr. Weaver,
All
you're a
right.
nincompoop, sir.
All right, boys, this happened on July 23rd, and I can't believe I missed it. It happened not far from where I was brought up in Oklahoma. It's Oklahoma City. Naked man breaks into home, then jumps in the pond. The man arrested for indecent exposure and public intoxication in connection with this story has been identified as Corey Cisco. A Metro family came face-to-face with a naked stranger inside their home on July 23rd. It happened in an Oklahoma City neighborhood around 6 p.m. A bizarre break-in started inside the family's home. They confronted the naked man. He left out the back door, skipped to the pond, and jumped in. Police say he was there for about an hour before they were able to get him out. Now, here comes the good stuff. These are quotes from Blake Overstreet. He's the homeowner. Him waiting around very much like a hippopotamus. It was very strange. Overstreet says this incident was unlike anything he'd ever seen before. I was ready to see my son and my mom coming home from martial arts class. I thought that was them knocking on the front door. By the time I opened the front door to let them in, the back door was being opened by the big, fat, naked, crazy guy. He described the man as 6'2" and over 400 pounds. By the time I could go be armed or help myself to protect my family, my wife was doing the exact same thing. They found themselves pointing a gun at the man, telling him to get out. Anytime a big, gigantic, naked man comes into your house unwanted, the de-escalation is, I guess you could say, pretty quick, Overstreet said. He then walked out the back door through their yard, which leads to the neighborhood pond. I saw one of the strangest things I've ever seen, following somebody out your own house into a lake that you're not supposed to be swimming in, full of snakes and snapping turtles. They watched him jump in the pond and stay there for about an hour until police coaxed him out.
Yeah.
Overstreet says he's thankful things didn't escalate. That, to me, was a big win for us mentally because it could have gone very bad very quickly, Overstreet said. He adds, even if you live in a nice neighborhood, always be on the lookout.
Once I was swimming across Turtle Creek. Man, them snappers all around my feet. Sure was hard getting across that thing with both hands tied on my... Remember that song by Chuck Berry?
I do not.
My Ding-a-Ling?
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Oh, yeah, that was the third verse.
That's what
the
I thought
famous-
was going in that woman's Coke.
Third verse, yeah. There he is. There's Ken Weaver. Naked Man stories abound. I can't believe we missed it either, Ken. But you got it. Staying in the pond with snapping turtles for an hour is going to be hard to beat. But Jackson's here for it. Yeah, that's a bold strategy. Jackson's here for it. I'm here for it. Let's vote early, vote often. 21 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Oh, my bad. I'll take the blame for it, Jackson, although I had absolutely nothing to do with you cutting Ken off there.
615. I didn't cut Ken off. Ken cut himself off.
615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. Just an awful story to report to you, and there's a little bit of an aftermath on this story involving a Nashville individual that has a $300,000 bail regarding an alleged rape of a Nashville woman who later died. Let me tell you, I'm going to relate this story to you after Ken's news at the bottom of the hour. And if this person is not eligible for the death penalty, then I don't know why we don't have I don't know why we have the death penalty. If this person is not eligible for the death penalty, I don't know why the death penalty exists in the state of Tennessee. I will relate the story to you moments from now, but first it's Mike's turn in Old Hickory.
How you doing, Matt?
I'm great, Mike. I hope you are.
Pretty good, except for what Trump's doing. Look, we're going to Korea, and it's going to be a so-called stalemate. You're going to keep this, you're going to keep that, and that's it, and then we're going to have NATO troops in there, and then we end up with American troops, 50,000 still today in Korea. So that's that subject. The other one is your favorite subject, the tunnel.
Tunnel. I love the tunnel, man. Love the tunnel.
Yep. I researched it. We are now digging in a parking lot at the state capitol.
Yeah.
And we're digging with a little bitty tiny excavator that's going to go straight down.
Yeah.
And that is state-owned property. So in other words, that's how they got around the permits. And that's how they got around citizen review. That's how they got around planning commission.
We told you that.
So,
I told you all of those things.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
And so we're going to dig straight down, and we're going to dig with that little tiny little excavator, because I saw it on the Boring Company video, or Boring Company pictures that AI now puts up. AI is putting up a lot of stuff now. And it just shows that they're just digging these little pieces of concrete up, and they're going to go straight down. They're going to have to go straight down for about 300-400 feet to find out what's down there. So what I'm saying is that this is not a done deal. This is not – you kind of portrayed it as that, man, we're already halfway to the airport.
I don't think I said that.
Well, the boring machines are not even going to come on a tiny little hole on a tiny little excavator that we're digging on state-owned land next to the Capitol in a parking lot, digging up little pieces of concrete.
Well, you know what?
Trying to
You know what they're
out.
going to do? You know what they're going to put in that hole?
I hope they fill it up with cement.
They're going to put their big drilling machine in that hole.
Oh yeah, the big boring machine.
Yeah.
So and they're going
cool.
to push that thing down there. That thing is going to just it's going to be like a caterpillar. It's just going to start. The other thing is, how come Elon Musk didn't show up for this great ceremony and cut the ribbon?
Well, he didn't want to. He didn't want to make it a political deal.
He didn't want to show that it's a failure, and he doesn't want to see this as being a total bust.
A failure.
Yeah. The thing
so
is,
you've declared. How are you declaring it a failure? How do you think it's going to fail?
First of all, we went around the rules and everything. If you're going to do something in Tennessee, go by the legislature. If you don't like it, whatever. But when you come in and you take state-owned property, a parking lot, and then say, look,
the state leased it.
I don't need permits. I don't need permits. I don't need hearings. I don't need the legislature. I'm just going to do it.
Well, the state permitted them. The state gave them the lease. What are you talking about?
A temporary lease on that spot.
Yeah.
They didn't give them the lease all the way out to the airport. They just gave them the lease.
They're using state right of way, so they're going to allow them to use the state right of way to bore underneath all of the state property. All of that's been finalized.
So what you're saying is you agree with me that they've gotten around the permitting status in the civil hearings.
I'm saying that. I'm saying that
we're going to bore down right there by the state capitol.
What other permit? I tell you what, Mike. I'll ask the question on the other side because it's time for the news, and Ken's got to get on home. But what other permits do you want? What do you want? Well, are people upset because there's not going to be a 14-year delay because of the stupid, Middle Tennessee and earthworm salamander? And there's an environmental study created for this and this environmental group and that environment. Is that what you're upset about? Are you're upset that the delays in the process aren't going to be here? That we've cut through all that red tape? 32 after the hour on Super Talk. So Mike from Old Hickory could not be bothered to hang on the line, but I think I've got the gist of his call. Mike doesn't like the fact that any of this is not going through the normal process. The normal process consists of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of taxpayer money going to fund copious amounts of research and dedicated to things like environmental study that doesn't really accomplish much of anything. But cutting through that is apparently annoying to Mike and other liberal or left of center individuals that don't understand how these things work better and more efficiently when they don't filter through the sieve of government.
Wasn't he telling us like a month ago that this was going to take forever and that it was never going to get done?
I think so. But now we got a hole there.
It's a conflicting viewpoint here.
Well, I don't think that Afton Bain, Afton, it was like last week that she did a video at the site. And she's like, they're going to dig this hole over my dead body.
It would technically be under her dead body.
It would be under her dead body unless she was somehow inside and underneath the hole. I mean, we would have to put her underground at a considerable distance so that they could then dig the hole over her for it to be over her dead body. Point being, I don't think she realized that this isn't government operating here. This is working around the mechanisms of government or getting permission from government to do the job at the private sector's pace, not the government pace. And I know many of you are thinking, oh, they announced this a week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. They won't start digging for another 8 months. No, this is not the way that works. This is not the way the private sector works. Governor Bill Lee confirmed that the state will not require payment for the land that it is using to build a series of tunnels under Nashville to the airport and other destinations. And it's like liberals and some of their sycophants in the mainstream media, they just don't understand it. They just don't get it. Like, wait a minute, what about the inspection process? Well, Governor Bill Lee said that there are going to be inspections along the way, but that those will happen along the way. But there is no expectation that there will be a requirement for payment to use the state property to construct tunnels because that property is being completely unused. And there's no foreseeable way that it will be used in any way to benefit the state outside of this use. Why? Because it's underground. That's why. My goodness. What I'm fascinated. Well, how they're not going to get paid for the use of this property? It's state property. That's what liberals were saying last week. What are you people talking about? This is 50 feet underground. No one's using this property. No one will ever use this property. Ever.
I was planning on building the man cave down there, but.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but you might have to adjust. Jackson, I would suggest maybe you get together with the boring company and maybe they build you a little something off, a little offshoot. A little something you can ride a little scooter to the house, to the hizzy, underground.
Probably get hit by Tesla.
I mean, you might. I don't know. You gotta listen for them close.
No, those don't make noise.
They don't make any noise. They're very quiet. Lee said the boring company is going to do this at no cost to the state. The state will give right-of-way to them at no cost to the boring company because of the enormous investment they're making on the state's behalf. It's a win-win. Liberals don't want to give this win to anybody because it's Bill Lee, it's the state doing it, and the local community, Nashville, refused to be a part of it because they politicized all of this. It wasn't Elon Musk that politicized this project. It wasn't the boring company that politicized it. It wasn't the state. It was the city that politicized it. The company started digging a test hole in a state-owned parking lot near the Capitol this week. Boring Company President Steve Davis previously projected the tunnel would be put into use within 2 years. Skeptics of the project, such as Mayor Freddie O'Connell, whom I had a beer summit with last week, they have asked numerous questions, and the Boring Company has offered answers to each and all of those questions. So there's your update. The political left freaks out because where's the payment to the state? Wait a minute. The state's not paying anything for this, and the Boring Company is doing it at no cost to the state. It is a private venture. The state sees the benefit in the project in the form of tourists benefiting. And yes, the private company will charge for these rides. I don't see a problem here. It is something that did not exist. It is something that will alleviate traffic off of our interstates. It's something that will present itself as a must-see attraction, one hopes, in our community when all is said and done. It will benefit local businesses downtown. What is the problem? The answer for most of our friends on the political left is that it does not bow before the altar of government. These people worship government, and they believe that good projects only come from the government, and any project not given the thumbs up by the government is not a good project. That's what they believe, when quite the opposite is the truth. 4060 heard the same that I did, said, I heard them say that the tunnel's only for the legislature and the rich people to use. I mean, they're just making crap up. That's exactly right. This is only one stop in the process. The tunnels can go anywhere. The underground roadways, if you will, can go anywhere. It just takes a relationship between the business community, the city of Nashville, and the Boring Company, and then go anywhere you want them to go. And they can drop off anywhere you want them to drop off. There is no problem with that. This next story, and I've wanted to get to it all afternoon long, but so much to do today. There's so much going on. I mean, we've barely touched the surface in terms of Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky today in the White House, where, I mean, Zelensky looked much better. I'm being told, by the way, Jackson, that he did actually wear a tie, but it was a black tie. It was an all-black suit that he was wearing, and the black tie blended in so well with the rest of the outfit that I was unable to see it while he was sitting at the White House. But I'm told that perhaps he did, in fact, wear a tie. He also gave a letter from his wife to Melania Trump, which was actually kind of a nice thing. For those that did not see it last week, Melania Trump wrote a letter to Vladimir Putin expressing her concern over the children that have been affected by the war between Ukraine and Russia. Not only those children that have been killed, but also those children who have been left fatherless or motherless or both, orphans in some cases. And it was a very kind letter that Melania Trump wrote, begging that the killing stop. Well, during his meeting with President Trump, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky shared a letter that his wife wrote for the First Lady, Melania Trump. Zelensky explained that his wife was moved by Melania's letter to Vladimir Putin. Well, you know what? Why do I tell you about it when I can let you listen to a little of it? This is from our friends over at the New York Post.
First, to stop killings and stop this war. Thank you. And using this opportunity, many thanks to your wife, First Lady of the United States. She sent a letter to Putin about our children, abducted children, and my wife, First Lady of Ukraine. She gave the letter. It's not to you, to your wife. I want it. Yeah. So we are saying this sensitive topic. Yeah. Yes, please. And
so he delivered a letter from his wife to Donald Trump's wife, the First Lady of the United States of America. That's good. That's good. And by all accounts, we're getting somewhere on that front, as it seems that they got Putin and Zelensky together, and there's going to be some sort of meeting of those two individuals where they talk about peace, and Donald Trump will be present, at least in the area, for that meeting. That's pretty cool. In the meantime, something that's not. And this is just the most awful of stories. According to an update by the Tennessee Star, Michael Patrick Leahy's outfit, the Tennessee Star has learned today that the Metro Nashville Police Department indicates that a man by the name of Mohammed, an alleged rapist who was arrested last week, was born in Somalia. Let me give you the details. Mohammed was arrested last Thursday after members of the Nashville Fire Department allegedly witnessed him committing sexual assault while driving to an unrelated call for service. According to the Metro Nashville Police Department, the firefighters first restrained Mohammed before police arrived at the scene. According to a Metro Nashville police officer, the department said that his birthplace was Somalia. Davidson County Sheriff's Office records show that Mohammed, that's his name, was charged with 4 counts of rape, was given a $75,000 bond for each charge by the magistrate judge, a total bond of $300,000. He is currently ineligible for release due to a temporary hold because his charges relate to domestic violence. The details of the case are so horrific that it disgusts me to relate them to you, but I need to. His alleged victim was a 34-year-old woman who authorities believed to have been homeless. And she appeared to be under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or both in security camera footage prior to the attack. Her altered mental state left her unable to fight back, and her altered mental state led her to sit in front of the steps of a church. Now, as of 6:50 this evening, I'm not aware of which church it was. I don't believe they're saying in the reports that I've seen. But she was sitting on the front porch, if you will, of a church, the front steps of a church, when this animal, and that's all I know to call him, I could call him worse, I won't, allegedly approached her while she was seated. He made physical contact with the victim as she went in and out of consciousness. At some point, security footage shows that she tried to push him away. He ultimately lifted her off the steps and put her on the ground beside the steps and repeatedly sexually assaulted her. The alleged victim was transported after multiple sexual assaults to Vanderbilt University Medical Center, where she later died from her injuries. And, they're not saying exactly what the cause of death was based on the fact that she was under the influence of alcohol and drugs. And yes, I'm familiar with, it was on Nolensville Pike, and I'm familiar with the church that it was. If it is relevant to the story, I think we can get into it. I just don't know that it's that relevant to the story, except to say that it was at a church, it was at a house of worship, and that is, it just compounds the disgusting nature of the event. The woman's identity is yet to be released, although the woman's identity has been verified through fingerprints. And let me just say this. There is no need to have a death penalty if the death penalty is not, if this individual is not eligible for it. I understand that it might be determined that the woman's ultimate cause of death was due to drug intake. I don't care. The woman is dead today. She was repeatedly sexually assaulted. This man needs to be eligible for the death penalty. And if found guilty by a jury of his peers, he needs to be put to death as soon as possible, as soon as humanly possible. It's the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk.